Hi, it's Caitlin and I'm here with a massive swatch video for you. Might be one of my longest, so grab a drink or get comfy or pause it and wait till, you have time to actually dive into the video. I have so many incredible polishes to share with you, all from by Dani Vienna. I will include in the description where you can purchase these polishes. By Dani Vienna has a ton of different stockists where you can grab her polishes. And of course, you can buy them from the By Dani Vienna website, especially if you're in the US. I think there's free shipping over $75 and they do ship from within the US. So I actually have 3 different collections for you. And one of them is the Zodiac Stones collab, which is actually by Dani Vienna, Watch It Indie, and by Vanessa Melina. That's 6 polishes inspired by Virgo season. So if you're Virgo, then you're in luck. And I also have the Princess and the Frog collection, which I understand was released maybe earlier this year or last year, but in honor of Tiana's birthday. These are sort of newly formulated, or the formulas are slightly tweaked from the originals. So that's the Evening Star collection. And then there is a set of polishes inspired by Impressionist painters. And everything is gorgeous. So I think we'll just let the polishes speak for themselves. Let's start the swatching party with the Evening Star collection. This is inspired by The Princess and the Frog, and this first polish is called Evening Star, which is inspired by the opening scene in the movie, which shows her bright up in the sky. And this is a blue jelly base with a mix of silver holographic glitters, including 4-point stars. And these are actually ordered specifically to create this polish. And this also has a silver magnetic effect. This is an absolutely stunning shade of blue, in my opinion. The formula on this is so easy to work with. It's just a phenomenal polish. The holo is very rainbowy. These are really high quality ingredients that are being used in this polish and all of the polishes you're about to see. So you can magnetize it however you like, or don't magnetize it at all. This is going to give you the velvet type effect, or that horseshoe magnet effect if you choose that look. Or on my index I use the bar magnet. And this will definitely warrant 1 or potentially 2 layers of glossy top coat, just because of the star glitters. They can be textured, but hey, I love glitter, so I'm always here for team glitter. Next up we have Charlotte, and this is inspired by Tiana's best friend. It's a clear base filled with pink reflective glitter, pink to gold iridescent flakes, and fuchsia metallic shreds. With this having the clear base, you could potentially use it as a topper. I would suggest it over a light pink, but you can also build it up on its own. It comes together really nicely in 3 coats, and obviously as a pink lover, I really like this polish. It's kind of chaotic with all the different things going on, but it really matches the inspiration and is so pretty and sparkly, as you will see in a second. In 3 coats, this one is definitely going to be textured, so I will recommend a glitter suitable top coat and then another quick dry top coat over top that will give you a really smooth, glossy, gel-like finish. It will allow the reflective glitters to really sparkle. And I'm really excited for you to see this one because it's really, really beautiful, if you couldn't already tell. But these polishes always make me happy, and this one is no exception. Baby Cakes is up next, and this one is described as a very light crelly turquoise with green aurora shimmer. And this is adorable. It's inspired by baby Tiana, who would never ever take a kiss from a frog. So this one is so beautiful. I'm obsessed with the formula, the finish, and the color. I love this polish. It almost has a pearly quality to the shimmer. It's phenomenal. It's beautiful. This one's going to be good in either 2 or 3 coats depending on your polishing style. And yeah, I'm really excited for you to see the shifts in this one because they are really beautiful. It's really glowy, and I'm just very excited for you to see it because I love it so much. Here we have Our Girl's Got a Real Talent, which is what Tiana's dad said to Eudora when Tiana finishes seasoning the gumbo with Tabasco sauce. This shade has a bright red jelly base with a red to coral reflective glitter and a scattering of green metallic shreds. And this one is beautiful for anyone who is a lover of red polish. This has a very heavy dose of reflective glitter, so it's definitely textured, and you will likely need a glitter suitable top coat and then a layer of quick dry top coat over that just to make sure you have a very smooth and glassy finish. But I love how this one's inspired by gumbo. So fun. And it's a beautiful juicy red. I personally did not experience any staining with this one. Application, as you can see, was super easy in 2 coats, and I like the little black flakes in there. I guess that's the different ingredients in the gumbo. Here we have Shadow Man, and this one's inspired by Dr. Facilier, who, despite knowing his gift won't work for himself, he still wants to take advantage of everything. This has a black smoky base with red and purple metallic shreds and a red to orange and gold iridescent flake. So this one has a nice base. It's actually kind of on the crelly side. It's super easy to work with, and lots of those flakes come out with each coat that you apply. This polish I think is going to be good for most people in 2. You might need 3 coats, but not necessarily. And this one was magnetic for me. I used my sort of velvet effect magnet to get this look, and then I left it unmagnetized on my index finger for anyone who's curious about how it would look if you don't apply the magnet. It looks beautiful either way, in my opinion. Here we have Down the Bayou, and this one is a dark teal holographic. And this one, if you did pick up this collection previously, is exactly the same as in the original collection, for anyone wondering. And I also want to note that I think one of the polishes in this collection was missed. It's called Almost There. I didn't get it in my box, so I don't have that in my video, but there are pictures on the By Danny Vienna website if you're planning to pick it up. But back to Down the Bayou, this one is so stunning. I absolutely love the color. The hollow is ridiculously linear. This is like super, super linear hollow, very high quality pigment, maybe probably Spectra Flare, maybe not, but it behaves that way. As you can see, this is with flash, but I'll also show it to you without camera flash, and you can still see that it is incredibly holographic. This one did not cause any staining, and yeah, just look at the linear hollow rainbow. You can see it in any lighting. And sadly, there was no sun when I swatched this. Here we have Lewis, and Lewis is the most talented gator in the Bayou. This is a bright chartreuse holographic, and this one is such a pretty shade if you're into quote-unquote prugly polishes. This might tickle your fancy. I love the color of this one. I love the holographic in it. I love the jelly squishy tone. Yeah, this is a gorgeous color. Again, no issues with staining. Such a breeze to apply. And as with all linear holographic polishes, you want them to dry down fully, and that's how you're going to see the strongest hollow effect. So here I let it dry down, and you can see that rainbow flame is so strong and so pretty. Thankfully, I had sunshine for a brief moment when I was swatching, so I could capture this one in the sunlight. Here we have Evangeline, and Evangeline is a dark blue jelly base with holographic flakes and yellow neon dots and small glitters. It's inspired by Ray and his family, as the neon yellow glitters are supposed to reflect the fireflies, and this one's just a really beautiful polish. It definitely has a jelly sheer base, so you're going to want to build this one up in 3 coats, potentially 4 if you have a very thin application style or very, very long free edge. But it does build up easily. The glitters come out very, very easily with almost no effort required. And I love the contrast of the colors in here. So this is a polish that, unless you're in super direct lighting, you won't be able to see your nail through it. But so what you're seeing here is probably what it's going to look like 99% of the time. But in my little forefinger portion, it looks like it's sheerer or patchier, but that's kind of the illusion that happens with jelly polishes. I will also note that you'll likely need 2 layers of top coat or a glitter top coat and then a quick dry, just because those circle glitters are matte and a little bit difficult to smooth out with just 1 layer of top coat, and this one might give you a tiny bit of trouble with removal, but if you use a peel off base, it'll be super easy, or, just a few extra seconds scrubbing with acetone. Here we have Gonna Take You There, which is inspired by the Froggy's Journey to Mama Odie. It's a gold ultra chrome chameleon magnetic micro flake with a mix of gold reflective glitter in a clear base. So I'm going to show this on its own over black, and this is definitely something that's going to look gorgeous over everything. I really love how twinkly it is and very, very sparkly. This one is really beautiful. You can leave it in 1 coat, which is beautiful and sparse, but if you build it up in 2, you'll just get a slightly more visible magnetic stripe, as you're going to see in my swatch. You can definitely tell more so that it's magnetic when you apply 2 coats over black. But if you're kind of into like a sheer nail look like I am, this is beautiful on its own, whether you magnetize it or not. It's just really delicate and pretty. I don't have anything at all like it in my collection. And just like everything in this collection, I really, really love it. So I decided to leave my index finger unmagnetized, and I magnetized my middle finger. This is, again, something that works as well as a topper as it does on its own. It's totally up to you how you want to wear it. And then on my pinky, I'm showing it over a coat of Starly Ghost Jelly. It looks really pretty, obviously, over this kind of base. Very delicate. I feel like this would be pretty for New Year's Eve or you know, any special occasion where you want something elegant but not overly flashy. And here you can see it. It's super pretty and very sparkly. Here we have Dig a Little Deeper, and this is a nod to Mama Odie and her wisdom. This is obviously fantastic as a topper. You can wear it on its own. I didn't show it that way, but it has iridescent flakes in a clear base, and it has a mix of large neon glitters in square and hex shapes. I personally love this over, again, Starly Ghost Jelly on my index finger, but over a black cream. It makes the flakes look very fiery and vibrant, and I love the addition of those colors. Like, this is a very 80s looking polish. Like, it just reminds me of the 80s with the colors and the shapes. Super fun. I definitely love it. And I'm also going to show it over baby cakes because I thought that that was a pretty combo just with the color of the glitters and the base of baby cakes. I will also recommend a good thick glossy top coat. The glitters in here are actually pretty thin and sit very flat on the nail, so you might get away with just one layer of a good thick glossy top coat, and it shouldn't be overly difficult to remove, but it is still a glitter. But the glitters I did notice were very thin. Here we have Friends on the other side, and this one is a black base with purple reflective glitter, green iridescent flakes, a pink to purple aurora shimmer, a bluish purple magnetic effect, and a green glow in the dark effect. And I am going in the order that the collection was intended to be shown, which is sort of the progress of the film. And I will also note that this collection is also a celebration of Daniela's favorite princess, and it's actually been 15 years since this movie came out, which is absolutely wild to me. And if you're a fan of Disney World, you'll know that Tiana's Bayou Adventure recently opened in Walt Disney World, so it's very timely and topical. So again, I'm going to show the polish with the magnetic stripe effect as well as with the velvet effect. I do apologize for all of my neighbors who drive like absolute idiots on my street. Their cars keep whizzing by. Anyway, this one is very, very, very textured with the reflective glitter, so definitely use a glitter grabber top coat and then a quick dry over top. Otherwise you will get a textured finish on your manicure, which personally I don't like. And last but absolutely not least, we have Princess Tiana, and this is a light crelly green with a aurora shimmer, gold iridescent flakes, small gold holographic glitters, and a lime green reflective glitter. This is so Tiana. I love how this looks like her in her princess dress. It's so beautiful. She's such a beautiful princess, and this polish is such a gorgeous tribute to her. I really love this color. I don't have a lot of greeny, chartreusey pastel shades like this, and the elements in here are really beautiful. They just complement the color beautifully, but also add a beautiful sparkle. It's just such a well done polish in my opinion. I will recommend 3 coats, and again, there is reflective glitter. It will be textured. The reflective glitters are not necessarily difficult to remove, but they do require 1 thick or 2 layers of top coat to get a smooth, glossy finish. We're going to move into the Impressionist painting collection. So there's a 5-piece set, and this first color is called Sicily, and it's inspired by his painting The Boat During the Flood at Port Marly. This is a sheer blue, leaning teal base with green and orange iridescent flakes. This has a phenomenal formula, as you can probably already see. I love the crelly jelly. Let me take that back. It's a jelly, not a crelly. The jelly base, I love the elements sitting within the base. I love the color combo. This is so pretty, and I will recommend it in 3 coats. It won't be difficult to get it smooth. 1 layer of top coat will smooth it, and it won't be difficult to remove, and it definitely did not cause any staining. Here we have Belt Morisot, and this one is not only inspired by her own artwork, but also a collection that the Musée d'Orsay did with Les Nerides. I don't know. I have no idea who that is, and I don't even think I pronounced that properly, but this is inspired by one of the artist's paintings. It's a pinkish coral sheer base with green iridescent flakes and white irregular glitters. I think this is such a unique and interesting polish. Maybe not for everybody. I love the color, I love the elements in it, and I really like those irregular white glitters. We're going to see them again in the Virgo collection. This polish has a lot going on. It applies really, really easily. You will likely want to build it up in 3 coats, or of course you could layer it over a similarly colored cream if you wanted to use it more like a topper and get full opacity that way. And when you build it up in 3 coats, you're going to get a ton more of the flakes and glitters. Everything builds up beautifully and gives a gorgeous pond-like effect. Definitely use a good layer of a thick, glossy top coat, and this won't be really difficult to remove. I don't find that those white irregular glitters are hard to remove at all. Here we have Gogh, and this one is inspired by one of his dancers. It's a light teal crelly base with a mix of green iridescent flakes. If you're a fan of this shade, this is such a stunning polish. It's a stunning color. I don't have a lot of this color in my collection because I'm really picky about how these colors look on my skin tone. This one works phenomenally well. I absolutely love the glitter, and not the glitter, the flakes. I love the base color. I love the crelliness of it. It's just so pretty. I will recommend building this one up in 3 coats. I think you get pretty close to opacity, at least I did, in 3 coats. And of course it allows the iridescent flakes to build up, so you get this gorgeous pond-like effect on your nail. And the flakes are ridiculously glowy. I love flakes like this. Again, this is not going to be difficult to remove. It's not overly textured. 1 layer of top coat will smooth everything out. Here we have Pissarro, I don't know, I didn't look up how to pronounce that, but this is inspired by one of his autumnal landscapes. It's a clear base with a mix of green reflective glitters and red to copper and gold ultra chrome chameleon flakes. I love the color palette of this polish. It's so beautiful. And it's very sparkly, as you're going to see, very autumnal, but also not, because I feel like the green is still giving life and leaves. So I would recommend building this one up in 2 or 3 coats. I was happy with it in 2. You might need 3, but I was happy in 2. And of course, a good glossy top coat, because there are reflective glitters which can be textured. Lastly, from the Impressionist collection, we have Impressions of a Sunrise, and this is named after the eponymous Monet painting that gave name to the Impressionist movement. This has a blue-gray crelly base with copper to gold iridescent flakes and orange dots, which to me the orange dots look yellow, and what you're seeing is what I saw with my eyes, so I'll leave that to you to assess. But this is really fun. The glitters came out very easily. It builds up really nicely, and it's just a pleasure to paint with. It's so unique. There's absolutely nothing like this in my collection, and I don't think anything else really like this in the nail world. So hopefully you're into it as much as I am. I will recommend 3 coats with this particular polish. It gets it darker and it brings out more flakes, which I just think are so beautiful. Now this one is quite textured with those little glitters. You will probably need 2 layers of top coat and they might be difficult to remove. So use a peel off base, or you can always just scrub a dub with your cotton ball. Here we have 2 polishes that are inspired by Van Gogh. I don't know if it's technically pronounced Van Gogh, but I feel like that's how Hannah Gadsby says it. This is called Starry Night, and it's a sheer dark blue base with indigo to purple aurora shimmer and an assortment of glitters that include moons and mini stars. This one is so much fun on the nail, and yes, you're gonna watch me fiddle around with the glitter a little bit, but honestly, it's so worth it, and I absolutely am obsessed with this polish. It really does look like the painting. The colors are perfect, the elements are perfect, and you know, despite this being a glitter, everything comes out quite easily. And as you can see, it's not a ton of effort to just place some of those glitters where you want them. When all is said and done, I think you're going to need 3 coats and potentially a 4th to just kind of glaze over everything at the very end. So that's my recommendation, but I am completely smitten with this polish. This is definitely a candidate for a glitter grabber top coat, plus quick dry, because those glitters are textured. And boy oh boy, this will be difficult to remove, so use a peel off base coat, or you can also Google the tinfoil removal method. That's another easy way to remove glitter polish. And here we have Sunflowers, which is the other part of the Van Gogh duo. It's a sheer yellow base with orange iridescent flakes, black irregular glitters, and an orange magnetic pull. I am going to show this with the bar magnet and the velvet effect. This is such a stunning polish. I'm really into like brownie oranges. You don't see them a lot, but they're so beautiful, and this one is particularly gorgeous. It's so well done when you look at the inspiration. I really love it. So kudos to Daniela for this collection. Everything we've seen so far is stunning, and I hope you're enjoying this plentiful cornucopia of color and nail polishes, because I really had a ton of fun swatching them and preparing this video for you, because I really do think all of these polishes are created beautifully. So just a note on this polish, no issues with staining. And in terms of smoothing it out, one layer of top coat did smooth it out for me. So you should be good to go with one layer of top coat, and it won't be really difficult to remove because those little black glitters are tiny and not very troublesome. All right, we have made it to the Virgo Zodiac stones portion of the video. And if you're not familiar with what that is, it's essentially a collab that launches on the beginning of every new Zodiac sign. And it's a collab between by Danny Vienna, Watcha Indie, and by Vanessa Molina. So each month they take the Zodiac sign and the stones that are associated with it and create nail polishes together. So for Virgo, we have Amethyst, and this is a violet jelly base with Aurora shimmer and silver magnetic pull. So I'm using my quote-unquote rooftop magnet, where I put magnets, just two neodymium magnets, right at a 90-degree angle from each other, and this creates sort of a velvety effect on the nail, on the index, and then a stripe on the middle. So killing two birds with one stone, as crass as that analogy is. This has fantastic coverage in just 2 coats. It dries shiny, but I'm still using my quick dry top coat, same top coat I used throughout the entire video. And I always just pop the magnet back on for a few seconds after applying the top coat. And I love the shade of purple. It's truly beautiful, and I love the magnetic effect in this polish. We now have blue calcite, which is a gorgeous sheer light blue base with a mix of iridescent and mirror blue flakes. Each of these polishes is based on a stone, and this one is for self-affirmation and communication. Now this is extremely sheer, as you can see. It will build up somewhat in 3 coats, and obviously that's the intention, for it to look like the stone, which sort of has a, I guess, translucency to it. I do really like this polish on its own. Obviously, I'm a fan of sheer polishes where you can see your nail, but I will also show it used over a white jelly for anyone who is perhaps not as keen on a sheerer finish. So just barely on that 3rd coat, you do start to see the base build up. This is a stunning polish, and I absolutely love the elements in it. It dries very glossy, but of course I'm using Cuticula Limitless Quick Dry Top Coat to ensure it stays glossy and juicy and squishy looking. Here I'm going to show it over Polish for Days Snow, I think. That's what it's called. It is their nail line blurring base, and it's a very even polish, so it definitely works as a topper. Personally, I don't like the way these flakes look over a white base. They kind of look yellowy, so I would have used a blue, but I didn't. Moving along, we have Amazonite, and this one is a beautiful shade. This one is inspired by the emotional balance and love aspect of the stones. It's an aqua green crelly with iridescent gold flakes and gold sparkle. Now this one has a very crelly-like formula. It builds up beautifully in 3 coats, which is what I'm going to show. And I do love the combination of the sort of creamy minty green and the gold. It's a beautiful complement, and I have really nothing else like it in my collection. So the formula is excellent. The look when you put on the 3 coats is stunning, and it's just a really pretty polish. So it does dry pretty glossy, but you still definitely want top coat because the flakes have the tiniest bit of texture. It won't be difficult to remove, but flakes always just have a tiny bit of texture, so it's best to use a top coat. Here we have gold rutilated quartz, and this one is a gold aurora shimmer with gold metallic shreds and gold galaxy glitter. It's for protection and personality. Now again, this starts off sheer. You could probably use it as a topper if you're so inclined, but I do like the way this one builds up on its own, and the shimmer is quite strong, so it kind of obscures the nail underneath. And as a gold girly, I really like this polish because I wear not even 99%, like 100% gold jewelry. I don't I don't mess with silver really, or white gold, so I really think this is pretty. Not that it matters, you can wear whatever kind of polish with whatever jewelry, but just for me personally, I like a gold theme, and this one is really pretty. I really like the elements in it. Again, dries very shiny, but top coat, still going to smooth everything out, and you will note just how shifty, not really shifty, but shimmery that gold is. It's really quite beautiful on the nail, and I will also show it over black because it works really well over black. For anyone who's curious, you get to see more of the, I think there must be hollow sparkle. It had a rainbowiness there, so just a really beautiful polish whether you choose to use it as a topper or wear it on its own. And yes, this bottle was mislabeled as a Leo. It is a Virgo polish, but it was in a Leo bottle. Here we have Snowflake Obsidian, and this one is a black jelly base with irregular white glitters, which we saw earlier, and silver holographic galaxy glitter. So this is like right up my alley. I love black polishes, I love black jelly polishes, and I love galaxy holographic glitter. This one is very sheer, and in future, if I'm going to wear it, I probably would wear it over maybe a black cream, just because I do love the squishiness, but in all honesty, this is probably a 4-coater, and that's on my short nails. So I absolutely love this polish, but just letting everyone know, it is super sheer. It will definitely be 3 solid coats, maybe thicker coats, but then you really want them to dry in between polishing, or 4 coats, or layer it over a black. So choose how to wear it as you see fit, but you can see I did a thicker 3rd coat on my index, and I did 3 very thin coats on my middle, so I definitely needed the 4th on my middle, and it covers for the most part. Now again, this does dry very, very glossy, but those little irregular white glitters do need the top coat to smooth out, and it also just, who doesn't want the glossiest black nails ever? So I love how the galaxy glitter looks very rainbowy against the black backdrop. The white glitters look like snowflakes, and this one is just truly special. Now, last but not least in this epic video, we have Pink Topaz, which is a pink jelly base with Aurora Shimmer, Galaxy Glitter, and holographic pigment. This one is for emotional balance and love. This is such a pretty shade of pink. It is very red leaning to me. It's like a raspberry pink. And it has a phenomenal formula. This didn't cause any staining. It applies like a dream, as you can see. And it's super holographic, very rainbowy. honestly, by Danny Vienna, all of these Brazilian brands are doing a phenomenal job with using really high quality ingredients, and it shows in the quality of the polish because the hollow is hollowing, super rainbowy, very strong effect, and I just really appreciate that as a nail polish. From the Princess and the Frog Evening Star collection, I have a lot of favorites. I'm trying really hard to narrow them down, but it's hard because I loved so many of them. Baby Cakes, adorable name, and also so glowy and pretty. The formula is amazing, super glowy, love the color. So that's one of my favorites. Evening Star, which is sort of the namesake of the collection, is so pretty. I love the magnetic effect in this one. I love the hollow stars, obviously. And the blue, again, I guess I have a thing for blues, but I just love this polish. And I also super love Charlotte. It's so pretty. I feel like all these polishes match the inspiration so well. And this is just so pretty with the most incredible flakes. The reflective glitter element is so beautifully done, and I just love it. From the Impressionists polishes, I loved Beautometry. That one is beautiful. I love the red in this, and of course all of the flakes and those little like white flake glitters, they're so interesting. And it's just such a beautiful polish. And also I just love Starry Night. Like, I'm looking at it in the bottle and it just looks exactly like the painting. So to have it on your nails is so cool and interesting. And like, all these painters are dead, but I wonder if they would love this or hate this. Like, it's like I don't know, it's so interesting, but I can't see how they wouldn't love it because it's just so cool. You literally have like an artwork on your nail. And lastly, from the Zodiac Stones collab, I have to say Snowflake Obsidian is super beautiful. I love black nail polish. I love the hollow. I love the jelly finish to it. And yeah, the white in there is super well done. And lastly, blue calcite, because apparently I am on a bit of a blue kick. And this one again has incredibly glowy flakes. Everything's beautiful, super pretty and sheer and transparent, which is also very me. So that was a ton of polish. Let me know in the comments what you think of the various polishes. Let me know what your favorites are and if you plan on picking any of them up. I guess that's it for me. Hopefully you enjoyed this extra long swatch video, and I'm gonna go pass out. Bye.